Okay, welcome to another experiment builder tutorial. If you did the first tutorial I put up, you will have ended up, maybe, with a screen something like this, with a load of crazy lines going between start and display screen. Or maybe you were even more artistic than I am and did something a bit more entertaining. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to tidy up the mess a bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to select anywhere on one of these lines with our mouse just by clicking it. It'll be nice and highlighted like that, then we press our delete key. Okay, so then what we want to do is we want to reconnect our start with our display screen. So what do we do with that? We click start, drag the mouse, and then let go of it on display screen. Okay, but say that we don't want them up there in that corner. What we can do again, we can select them and move them about anywhere we want. Another useful feature that the Experiment Builder has is if you right click anywhere in this area here and then click arrange layout, you'll see that everything gets tidied up for you. So you can be very sloppy, have loads of lines all over the place, and then this will very cleverly, if that's even a word, do its business, sort it all out, make it very neat and tidy for you, which is actually very, very helpful because it means that you don't have to go around drawing neat and tidy lines. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a little display screen that says a little bit of text on it and then waits for a person, you, to press either the keyboard or the mouse. Okay, so to do that we just double click display screen. That then takes us into display screen. You can then navigate out of display screen and go back to the experiment using the tabs up here. So that's back to the experiment, that's our output window, and this is our display screen. To write a bit of text, what we do is we begin by clicking insert text resource here. There's all sorts of different types of resource we can select, and I'll let you experiment with those to your heart's content. Okay, so then now we've got insert text resource selected, we click anywhere in the display. It automatically gives us a dummy bit of text called text, but we don't want to call it text. We want to say hello world because we're making a piece of software or an experiment, doing some programming. It's traditional to always start with hello world. Trust me. Okay, so then we have done that and we selected it. We can then deselect that. But however, it's not in the middle of the screen, so then we select the text and then we go up here and then we select fit to horizontal and then fit to vertical over there. Again, I'm not going to go to all these details here, what they all do. You can hover over them and get the tooltip to pop up yourselves. It's very nice and straightforward. If we want to do something like, say, change the font size, when we've got the hello world selected, which you can tell because there's a set of 4 boxes around here, it highlights it in the structure area here, which gives you the details of all the bits of the structure of the experiment. So you've got to see it's called text resource, and then the properties window, sub window. So this thing here is quite useful because it gives all bits of information about whatever it is we've got over here that's selected. So if we deselect, you'll see properties, nothing in there. If we reselect, suddenly this is all populated with properties. Okay, so this is the label is the unique name for the text resource here. It's default called text resource, but we can call it anything we want. So for example, hello string. Make sure that you don't have spaces between your label names. Computers don't like that sort of thing, so try and put an underscore between the words. It's just a standard convention. You can set the exact pixel location here, the x and y coordinates, remembering that x and y in the top left is 0, down in the bottom right is away from 0, to get a nice precise control over it. The rest of the stuff's fine. We can change the font if we want to. So we can change from Times New Roman to Arial or something like that. What else can we do? Okay, let's just change the font size for now. So we double click in this bit here. Oops. Like that. And let's give it 40. And then press enter. You'll see it's suddenly massive. There we go. Okay, so we're happy with that for now. So then we want to go back to our experiment tab, like that. And then now we want to use, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the display to appear saying hello world, and then the participant you press a key on the keyboard or on the mouse. So let's have a go at doing that. So to do that, what we want to do is we're going to go over here where it says action, trigger or other, and we're going to select trigger. That'll allow you access to these other ones here. Now triggers are all drawn in circles for the most part, apart from this, which is the conditional, which we don't need to worry about for yet. So we've got the timer here, so that would trigger an event after a time has passed, but what we want here is the keyboard. So we click the keyboard just like we click the display screen, we drag it down here and we let go of it. and then the mouse icon, yes, you've guessed it, it is the mouse trigger, and we click it, select it, drag it down, and then let go. So you also obviously need to actually connect these triggers to something. So you need to grab display screen, click it, drag, wait for the arrow to go green when you're hovering over keyboard, and let go, and do the same for mouse. What that then does is basically display screen will now be presented until the keyboard and mouse are pressed. So let's have a go at doing that. Let's test it. Up to test run, and then hit yes. And then session name test, and then hit OK. Okay, again, the video will be showing a load of blank gibberish now, but you should get Hello World appear on your screen, and then you can press any button on the keyboard or mouse, and it'll then drop out of the experiment. There we go, I pressed my keyboard, you probably heard that, and that's over. Okay, so that's not a very exciting experiment. Very few experiments let people just to press any old button on the keyboard or mouse and then terminate it. So what we're now going to do is we're going to set it up so that you have to press the, let's pick a key, let's pick the C key, why not, on the keyboard. So to do that, we again use properties. So we click the keyboard. You'll notice on the left hand side here, properties for the keyboard details are now filled out, and you'll see keys any. So to change that, what we do is we select, okay, let me do that again. Okay, so we double click that, okay, the little grey area, and what we can then do is we can select any key that we want. These ones to choose from, so I wanted to use C, so I'm going to go off and select C. Now bear in mind, if you want to select more than one key to be able to activate this, you can press Control and then select more of them, okay? Nice and simple. So if you've got different responses, you know, more than one response, they can do more than one thing. Okay, so C is now selected. We then close that. You'll see under keys now is listed C. Another way to alter that is to click this towards the right hand side of the keys property box, and then click the dot dot dot, and then it'll have attribute and then C here. What you can then do is, rather than select it manually out of that massive long drop down list that came up, you can write something like C, D, E, F, and then you hit OK. I haven't done this for a while, so hopefully that works. Yep. So then now it will be one of those 4 letters when I activate the keyboard. Okay, let us find out if my memory for doing that has worked, and we'll just test run it. Okay. And then OK. It seems to be working on mine. Hopefully it's working on yours as well. And then I'm going to press D to end it. Okay. So you'll note as well that if you try to press any other key other than the ones you've listed out here in keys, the experiment wouldn't have terminated, and the hello world would have just sat there looking at you for a very long time. Okay, so one last thing we're going to do is we're going to change the text that's displayed in that display screen to a picture. How do we do that? Well, first of all, what we need to do is we need to import our pictures that we're going to use into Experiment Builder. You can use any pictures that you want, and I'll be providing these pictures on my blog page, which you'll be able to find a link to somewhere in this video. And so I'm going to use some pictures of my cat. We're going to do a pretend experiment. The later parts of this tutorial guide will make more sense. But what we want to do for now is just import some images. So we go Edit, then Library Manager. That pops up with image. So what we want to do now is then add some images to our library. It's important to add all images to the library because then your images that you've got are then copied into the experiment rather than just free floating around on your computer. Because if you have it, say, on your C drive or on your desktop, and then you delete that image, Experiment Builder, if it didn't import them, would still be looking for those, and it wouldn't be able to find them. So this makes sure that you've got your images with you wherever you go. Okay, so we click the little plus symbol, and then we go to mine are on my desktop, so you can just navigate to wherever they are for yours. And then I've got 2 pictures here, so I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to hit add, and it copies them into the thing. Okay, so then we close that. Alright, so now we're ready to import our pictures. To do that, we just double click display screen, or we could select display screen from up here. It really doesn't make any difference. I'm going to select hello world, and then I'm going to delete it like that, and I'm going to insert a picture. Okay, so insert image resources, this one up here. Obviously you can insert all sorts of things like videos and multi-line text and squares and shapes, but for now we're going to insert a picture. So we click insert image resource, and then we select anywhere on display, roughly where we want to place it, and then we're going to select in JPEG for this one, you can select whatever picture you want, and then we hit OK. Okay, so I think, as I understand it, wherever I clicked on the display, what it does is it puts that as the top left-hand corner of the image, and then draws it from there. So I don't want the picture down there. I want to put it in the dead center of the display. So just like with the text resource for the hello world, I'm going to horizontally center it up here, and then vertically center it up here. Okay, so now bearing in mind that I've got the picture selected, as you can see, it's a picture of my cat in a box. He likes that box. We won't be abusive to him or anything like that, I promise. And you've got all the properties down here on the left hand side, and things like the x and y coordinates of the location. Again, very fine detail control of where you want to place it on the screen. You can resize the width and the height, bearing in mind, of course, that if you start rejiggering that sort of thing, it can often distort the picture, so it's a bit risky to do that unless you use some software that actually maintains the aspect ratio of the image. And there are all other things we won't worry about for now. Okay, so just to finalize, what we're going to do, we're going to test it one more time, and then we can press any button on the mouse if you set it up like me, or any of those buttons that we selected on our keyboard to terminate the trial. You might get warnings. People often panic about warnings in the output list. Do not worry about them. Warnings mean it's not disastrous, but you might have done something wrong. They don't mean everything's going to blow up in your face. The everything's going to blow up in your face are what we call errors, and it won't even run at all. Alright, so let's do our test run. Okay, so again, this will be blank nonsense for you in the video, but on my screen what I'm getting is a picture of my cat up in front of me. If I try tapping some random keys that aren't the target keys that I listed, nothing happens. However, if I click the mouse or press C, D, E or F, the thing terminates, and that's the end of that. I and my dad thank you for watching.